Today, we discuss the yummy feminine energy that reminds you that you are a divine feminine. We might just have to remember her again. This episode is for every woman who feels a longing to reclaim her intuition, creativity, and deep inner wisdom. Together, we'll explore what the divine feminine is, why she matters in today's world, and how to awaken her and embody her in your life. Welcome to Her Second Stage, the podcast dedicated to inspiring successful women in the next stage of their lives. I'm Hilda Lunderstedt, and I'm excited to share the lessons I've learned as I transitioned into my second stage. Join me on this exciting journey of sisterhood and remembering who we are at our core. Remember, no matter where you've been, the best is yet to come. If you, like me, created your success in business, you would have experienced a world that is not necessarily created with the feminine in mind. Let me clarify that this is not a gender discussion. It's a discussion about the feminine essence that is in both genders. In a world that became very masculine energetically, we have forgotten or, in extreme instances, lost our divine feminine. In today's business world, success has been driven by or defined by the masculine traits such as logic, competition, and the doing. Not connecting with our feminine is not healthy for the feminine body. And that is why I really think this discussion is very pertinent. The divine feminine is our divine right. She's both timeless and urgently relevant. The divine feminine invites us to reconnect with our ancient sacred energy that nurtures, creates, and connects. The divine feminine is an archetype of wisdom, strength, and nurturance that lies within every woman. It is the essence of who we are. For women over 45 or in their 50s, reconnecting with this energy is not just transformative, it is essential. When you reconnect with her, you unlock a wellspring of wisdom, resilience, joy, and that will transform your health, happiness, relationships, and legacy. Together, I want to explore her characteristics, her strengths, and her shadow, unfortunately, and why now is the perfect time to embrace her for our well-being and our future. Like I mentioned earlier, for the purpose of this episode, the feminine and masculine are energies, not genders. We all have both masculine and feminine energies within us, supporting our different aspects, and each represent a universal quality traditionally seen as either feminine or masculine traits. Feminine energies are seen as intuition, creativity, connection, and receptivity. The divine feminine is a way of being that honors the flow of life, trusts the inner knowing, and she celebrates the beauty and power of the physical world. And the fear of her power in many cultures and societies are the reason why I believe the feminine qualities have been shamed or made out to be weak. Think of it as a counterbalance to the more linear, assertive, and action-oriented energy of the divine masculine. The masculine-feminine dance is the yin and the yang. The masculine-feminine is seen everywhere. It's observed both in our inner polarity, where every person has an internal masculine-feminine relationship, but also in our external relationship. Both energies are essential in both internal and external relationship, but it's in our modern fast-paced world, the feminine is often forgotten or undervalued. In the business world, we are mostly connected to our masculine. The masculine aspects such as pursuits, chase, aggressive competition, and we all know it, this proverbial dog-eat-dog world. Over decades of functioning from the masculine polarity and suppressing or sometimes often forgetting our divine feminine, we think this is just who we are. Understanding how our feminine empowers us, we can rekindle our relationship with our inner feminine and use the gifts she offers us. Let's look at her true core qualities. The first one is the quality of intuition and wisdom, that deep inner knowing that guides us. Beyond logic, intuition is the quiet voice within that guides towards our truth. In business, using intuition is not embraced enough. Although perhaps with the rise of mindfulness practices, I think maybe we'll see business leaders checking in with their intuition or gut feelings, and it will become more acceptable. The wisdom of your gut instinct, the clarity that comes when you truly listen to your inner voice, will provide answers to complex problems you possibly are struggling with. Another core quality is creativity, not necessarily or just the artistic expression, but creativity as the ability to birth new ideas, new projects, solutions, and innovations. When she's connected with her feminine, ideas and solutions come through her, and that's why we say it's birth. Through this, she fosters growing new possibilities. The third quality is compassion and nurturing, is the ability to hold space for yourself and others. It's that nurturing energy that heals and connects. She does not only have compassion for others, but she also has a deep sense of self-compassion, which often is missing from the lives of so many women. Yet compassion and self-compassion is so critical for healing and creating ideas, projects, concepts, businesses from a healed state. She's highly receptive and she's in her flow. The divine feminine doesn't force outcomes, but align with the natural flow of life. She has the strength to receive, hold space for emotions and relationships, and in life's flow. An example of this would be to let go of rigid goals and trust the process of unfolding. The energies of the feminine is deeply connected with and can be compared to the cycles of nature. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, so does a woman's energy. The divine feminine aligns with nature's cycles, creation, rest, and then renewal. It's important to understand, give yourself the space to create, to rest, and to renew, and to stay in the flow of what is required by your energy. At her core, she values collaboration, empathy, and a sense of belonging. She builds bridges and fosters harmony. And through this, she designs and creates a deep connection and relationship with others. The divine feminine also celebrates her body, sensual pleasure, and the beauty of the physical world. She reminds us to care for and honor our bodies. For centuries, society has glorified the masculine energy, action, logic, control, while undervaluing the feminine qualities of flow, intuition, and nurturance. In many instances, and for many, many years and decades and generations, women have been taught to suppress their feminine energy to succeed in masculine-dominated spaces like careers or society at large. Reconnecting with the divine feminine, especially after the age of 45, has some strong benefits on our health, our wealth, and our legacy. Let's look at the health implications or benefits with connecting with your divine feminine. Many women suffer from chronic stress, from overwork, caregiving, perfectionism that disrupts the hormonal balance. Suppressed emotions often manifest as physical symptoms, such as autoimmune disorders, heart disease, and insomnia. Our bodies will become healthier when we reduce the stress through creating and connecting with our flow. Many women begin to feel invisible or irrelevant due to society's conditioning around aging, especially after the age of 50 and beyond. Embracing the divine feminine and fostering a deep connection with yourself helps us as women redefine our worth and purpose. As we release the old narratives, we increase our emotional and spiritual well-being. The second stage of life, and in this phase, is about creating impact and meaning, not just for yourself, but for future generations. You might not be happy to continue with your life and business anymore, and you might want to seek to redefine a different environment or creative arena that's more aligned with your core values. Making these changes change your life and your legacy. We discussed the light side of what healthy divine feminine traits are: the nurturance, the empathy, the love, the flow, and the care. But unfortunately, as with anything, there's also the opposite side, the shadow. So let's explore the shadow aspects of the divine feminine. The shadow side of the divine feminine refers to the unconscious, repressed, and distorted aspects of the feminine energy that can manifest in ways that are limiting, unhealthy, and self-sabotaging. The shadow represents the parts of the feminine that have been wounded, suppressed, or denied due to societal conditioning, personal experiences, or cultural expectations. When we discuss the shadow, it's not about judging the shadow, but we need to be aware of her, and if we are her, we need to heal so we can show up in our healed, powerful feminine. Once you are aware of the aspects that possibly could lean to the shadow side, you have the power to change or to work on it. I have a full episode discussing shadow work, and the deep work that's needed to heal the shadow. If you are interested in listening to it, to find out a little bit more about shadow work, there will be a deeper dive. You might ask, how do I recognize the shadow side? So here are 7 of the most common shadow characteristics of the divine feminine. Number 1, overgiving and martyrdom. The nurturing and compassionate qualities of the divine feminine, when distorted, can lead to self-sacrifice and burnout. One might prioritize others over their own needs. They might neglect themselves, neglect their self-care, and neglect their boundaries. An example of this, a mother or caregiver who feels her worth is tied to how much she gives, even to the detriment of her own well-being. Second one, fear of visibility and being too much. The shadow might manifest as shrinking or hiding to avoid judgment or rejection. This can stem from societal narratives that discourage women from embracing their full power, particularly as they age. An example of this would be avoiding opportunities for leadership or self-expression for your fear of being too much. I know for sure many women has a fear or has been told to behave, to be good girls, and that they are too much. Number 3 is suppressed emotions. The feminine is deeply connected to emotions, but society's pressure often encourages women to suppress their feelings to appear strong and capable. Repressed emotions can lead to resentment, bitterness, or physical health issues. An example, a woman who avoids addressing the origins of a strong emotion such as anger or sadness might have unnecessary outbursts when she is under stress. Number 4, codependency. In its shadow, the feminine desire for connection and relationship can manifest as dependency or a loss of individuality. Often hand in hand with codependency is having poor personal boundaries or difficulty in setting boundaries. For an example, this caused many women to stay in unhealthy relationships out of fear for being lonely or lost. 5, manipulation and passive aggression. When the feminine energy's strength in persuasion and intuition is misaligned, it may turn covert. Manipulation or passive-aggressive behavior. For example, she might start using guilt or emotional tactics to control outcomes instead of open communication. Number 6, victimhood, the shadow can also manifest as a tendency to feel powerless or stuck, seeing oneself as a victim of circumstances rather than an agent of change. The example here would be believing life happens to me rather than I create my own reality. And number 7, disconnection from oneself. A loss of connection with intuition, creativity, or one's body may occur, often due to society's conditioning or personal trauma. An example here would be ignoring your gut feeling and not allowing yourself to rest and rejuvenate. I know I surely have identified with these aspects over time in my life, and I'm constantly checking to make sure that I don't have the need for any of the shadow behaviors. Remember, we don't judge the shadow. We acknowledge it and we look at it to see how it serves us, and then we work on letting go of what we can. We start integrating our shadow and we learn how to replace our wounded self with the healed and healthy feminine traits. Self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-acceptance will help to identify the patterns where the shadow manifests in your life, and you can embrace these aspects of you without judgment. Again, I want to urge you to listen to the episode Shadow Work so you can actively explore the roots of the wounds and reframe them in a healthy, empowered way. When I refer to work, I will use an example, for instance, transforming overgiving into setting boundaries while still honoring your nurturing nature. By doing this work, the divine feminine's light and shadow are also brought into harmony, allowing women to embody their full, authentic power. The key to embracing the divine feminine is really to have balance. It's about honoring these qualities while integrating traditional masculine traits like logic, assertiveness, and boundary setting. Here are 6 practical ways to cultivate your divine feminine energy. Practice self-care. Nourish your body and spirit. This could be through daily or regular rituals, movement, simply resting when needed. You can create morning rituals where you start the day with intention. You light a candle, meditate, or set an affirmation. A beautiful affirmation example is, I honor the wisdom within me today. If you're struggling with self-care or connecting with your body, there is an episode about self-care and self-love that I invite you to listen to for a deeper conversation. Set healthy boundaries. Do it guilt-free to protect your energy. Celebrate your voice by speaking your truth with confidence and clarity. Very important is to also embrace with your sensuality. Reconnect with your body senses through movement, touch, or simply appreciating its wisdom. Practices like yoga, slow dancing, or walking barefoot on the ground will ground your feminine energy. Important is to create space for reflection. Spend time journaling, meditating, and connecting with nature to tune into your intuition. And most importantly, and not to be forgotten, is to incorporate creative play. Engage in activities that sparks your joy. Painting, writing, cooking, gardening. What I found, it is in everything to connect with your body senses, to slow down, slow your movements down, to feel and experience your body and experience the joy when you do something that you love. Reconnecting with the divine feminine improves mental health, reduces stress, and strengthens immunity. So it's physically healthy for women. Connect with their divine feminine. Women who have embraced the divine feminine energy to leave lasting legacies, whether through mentoring, creating art, or building communities. Every woman has a unique contribution to make to this world, and reconnecting with your divine feminine helps you to discover her. I want to put a challenge forward to each one of you. Commit to one practice this week to reconnect with your divine feminine. Spend 10 minutes journaling, meditating, with an affirmation. I am whole, worthy, and radiant. Find a 5-minute Divine Feminine meditation on herseconstage.com. Reclaiming the Divine Feminine is not about perfection. It's about honoring the journey back to you. She's in every one of us, the wild, wise, nurturing force. She's us, the Divine Feminine. It's time to remember her, embrace her, and let her heal you into wholeness you deserve. As we come to the end of today's episode, I hope you've enjoyed the reminding and remembering of your Divine Feminine, who she is, what she is. And if you're disconnected from her, it's not all us. She's still there. You just have to remember who she is. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, and comment. Follow me on social media, Her Second Stage, or herseconstage.com, where you'll find information about the community and some more support tools to help you through this phase of life.